Hello, thank you for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to continue our discussion on creating numeric and graphical summaries for one quantitative variable, but this time we're going to be doing it by separate groups. So we're going to be using a lot of the same code that you've seen me use in the past, but now we're going to be utilizing some by group functions. Specifically, we'll be separating by sex. So I am going to do a function called tapply, and I'm going to do it for sleep, but I am going to add in a second variable, and this second variable, sex, is going to separate the groups for me. And I did that control enter for the shortcut key. And now you can see that it separated the two groups with sex, male and female, and then it gives me the 5-number summary for each of those. So that's how I separated those. I could switch the type of analysis that I wanted at the end and do, for example, the mean. But remember that mean doesn't come out unless you tell R to ignore the missing. So that's how you get those separate means. You can do it for maximum. You could do it for, it's not maximum, but max, yep. You can do it for the minimum. You can do it for the range. Daisy, there we go. You can do it for standard deviation, which remember is just SD. You could do it for variance, which is bar. You can do it for the interquartile range. Oh, you gotta capitalize it. There we go, the interquartile range. So those are a lot of options for you to separate out by the groups. The summary function really is the most information that we can get. Quantile. That, remember, is the 5-number summary, but in the percent format. So the summary function, though, gives you how many missing we have, and it gives you... Did I not do the whole thing? There we go. The summary function gives you the 5-number summary plus the mean and how many missing. So that's valuable. Now, if I want to compare these side by side, I can still use that box plot function. I still am going to say, I want you to do it for sleep, but now I'm going to use that tilde to say to R that I want you to do it by sex. And this time I'm going to get a little bit fancier. I'm going to do the color to be steel blue. I am going to put a title and call it let's do sleep by sex, and I'm going to add in a label for the x-axis, and we're going to call that sex, and then a label for the y-axis, and that will be called sleep. And let's run that so that you can see the side-by-side box plot. So see, we have males and females. Now, when you're comparing side-by-side box plots, if they don't overlap, you're probably able to say that the centers are different. If they have a lot different sizes or spreads, you're able to say that their variability is different. But these two are actually very, very similar. So I wouldn't think that there's any difference really between sleep for the different sexes. So when I want to create a histogram, I am actually going to use a library. So this is going to be the ggplot2. Really, in general, it makes nicer graphs than what base R can make. So ggplot, and then I'm going to say gbsu, that's my data. And then I want the aesthetics to be my X variable as sleep. And then I am going to add a layer to that, and that's going to use the geom histogram function. And then I want it to be faceted. So this is the part where it is going to separate, and we're going to use that tilde and sec. So it's similar to what we did up here for the box plot, but it's a separate idea. And then I just want to make it look a little bit nicer, so I'm going to use the black and white theme for this. Okay, so now when I run that, what you see is I have two histograms side by side, and I could do some editing so that these would be next to one another. Basically, the way that the data was entered, it's entered in half-hour increments, so it doesn't look continuous. But that's how you compare histograms side by side box plots, and then the summaries side by side. So in other videos, we talk about really how to make those comparisons, but for right now, this is how you create them with the computing package R. So we'll see you in future videos.